Hello and welcome to tonight's extra time. Hold on a minute. Does help if I put some light on the subject. So yeah, welcome to tonight's extra time. And you're probably thinking, right, well, there's Dave. Where is Amy? And the answer to that is she's not here tonight because she's got a very early start in the morning. Because she works for a big pub chain, and she's got a very early start, and she's got to get off to Oxford, so it's a bit too late for her tonight. But she will be returning for extra time on Sunday. So you've got me, but we've already got 4 amazing Wolves fans and a part Everton fan who's probably chuckling to himself over in Blackpool, of all places, in the back. And obviously, it's been the penultimate match of the season. First of all, before we get going, I just want to say a big thank you to the guys that power this particular show and podcast. That's Spider VPN, and they provide you with high-speed, low-cost, secure VPN services for all your devices, and you can find the link to their website below. So, of course, Wolves have played again today. Personally, I thought they did a lot better. John Ruddy made maybe his farewell appearance for Wolves. And then we also obviously had Nuno going back to a back 3 again. And we had up front Fabio Silva, Morgan Gibbs-White and Adama Traore. You're going to be so interesting to dissect this with my guests that I've got on tonight. And of course, if you're watching in the chat, please feel free to share this on your WhatsApp groups, on your Facebook pages. Let Wolves fans know that we're going live. But we're going to be bringing on our first guest tonight. And I promised him he could go first tonight because he lives in a motorhome, and when it gets past 10:30 at night, it's a little bit late for him, apparently. So I says, right, make sure you're early and we'll get you on. And he has been. And it's Andy. How you doing, Andy? I see. Tired, sleepy. It's not the Wolves that have sent you to sleep, is it?
Oh, not tonight. Not tonight.
And you're in your motorhome at the moment. As you can see, just behind Andy, you can see the Dazzling Dave Wolves fan channel ducks. Can you get a closer look at that or not?
Yes.
We've got the look. He's got the official duck sticker on the wall and everything. Absolutely amazing. And where are you in the world at the moment, mate?
Still the same as last time. Claybrook, Magna.
Oh, right. Okay. Absolutely. So have no idea where that is, but still.
Neither do I.
And where's your other half, mate?
Give us a shout, Janet. Can you hear her?
Oh, she's in the thing. She knows you're. She's giving you permission to go live. If you're wondering, before we get on to the game, Andy runs a YouTube channel called Many Fun Adventures, #VanLife, and he literally travels around the world, well, around the UK in his motorhome, and you follow the adventures of yourself, your other half, and you got a dog as well, haven't you?
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, he's down here asleep.
Is he? Well, he's probably been watching the Wolves as well. Do you know what I mean? And of course, as well. And then you have your guests come on these things. So check out his channel; it's quite good. Andy, you've watched the game today. Obviously, Wolves losing 1-0 at Goodison Park. What did you make of the game, fella?
I'll tell you what, when they kicked off, I mean, you know what I was like before the game. I was really dreading this one. And when it kicked off, they actually played really well. And that first half, that's the best I've seen them play in the first half for quite some time. They obviously didn't score a goal, of course. But, But they played really well. And I think, I don't know, I just get the funny feeling, you know, that it's just having fans in the ground. I know it ain't our fans. But I think it's psychological, you know. I think having just some fans there might have perked them up a bit, got them going a bit, you know, especially trying to beat the home fans, you know. So, But yeah, they played really well.
Put the Wolves up, Wolves players up.
Yeah, I think both sides probably, but I think the Wolves players probably enjoyed playing in front of their fans as well, just to hear some crowd for once instead of being like a training game all the time, you know.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, it did make a difference, and I've got to say, Andy, it was nice to. It was nice last week to see the FA Cup final with fans at Wembley. You've been seeing, obviously, the last couple of nights, fans in the ground, Everton fans there as well. You know, you made the noise. I watched the start of the Albion game as well, and it made me chuckle because obviously they play the Liquidator still down at the Hawthorns, and they do the, you know, what hashtag doop beep beep F Wondrous, and we used to have that, didn't they? But they stopped playing it down at the Molineux because they didn't like the swearing and everything. And then they go all behind the team, and then West Ham, is it 1-1 still over on the Albion game? Is it? I think someone will probably say, "Oh no, look, it's ended up 3-1 to West Ham." So they've done some more boinging. And they did take the lead, but it looks like they've lost. Sean, I've explained where Amy is. Unfortunately, she's got to get up early for work tonight. I know you're all big fans of Amy as well. So, mate,
I've got long hair like Amy.
Yeah, there's a fair few grey hairs in that as well, mate, to be honest. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know, that's the stress that I get from the missus.
Yeah. You'll get chucked out of that van tonight. You'll be in the cold. Or you could end up actually Gaffer from Gaffer's bar in Tenerife we're going to have on. And we've got Steve backstage. We've got Spencer in Blackpool. If you get chucked out of a van over there, at least he's got the nice weather. So I'm looking forward to having Neil on, and we've got Steve from the Wolfpack Howlers and Spencer, who's part Wolves, part Everton fan. So, mate, I mean, what do you take out the game tonight in terms of your highlights?
Well, Troy Orway. I thought Troy Orway stood out for me, and I did like to see Silva play all right as well. I'll tell you what I've noticed. Moutinho, I don't know. I think he's got to the point now where he's really past his best, I think. And he's given the ball away so many times during games, if you noticed. And when he does that corner, he always does the short corner. Although I haven't said that tonight. I think he did a couple, he didn't. But I don't know. But overall, Troy always stood out for me. When he brought, what's his name again? Jose on. I didn't understand why he brought him on for Gibbs White, really. Just a waste of time.
Well, you got Gibbs White, who, to be fair, I thought he had a really good first half. I thought he had a good shot tipped around the post by Pickford. He has shown a lot of movement. I like to see Gibbs White playing in that sort of behind the striker role where he's got movement to run and create issues. He stood at the edge of the box, didn't he? He does have a lot of movement. And then Jose, he doesn't have as much movement. He does link the ball up and he is strong, but he doesn't seem to offer a lot else. I feel sorry for Jose in some ways because, he was doing well in Spain. Personally, I'm of the like, thank you so much for coming in and helping us when we needed a little bit of help with, he came in, he added a presence, held the ball up, but he hasn't scored the number of goals or even looked dangerous like he's going to score the goals. And for me, I'd be very, very surprised if Wolves sign him for next season. To me, he's done a job, but I don't see he's the answer going forward. Fabio Silva getting the nod to start. What you see in Fabio Silva is a young lad who's 18, who's full of energy, got a lot of skill, does hold the ball up. Okay, he didn't score today, but he does make the runs. However, I just think that he was thrown into the Lions den pretty soon, and I think Fabio, when he beefs up a bit, because he's still a boy, really, he gets a bit more upper body strength. He's going to be some player, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I must admit, I was hopeful for him at the beginning of the season when we had him, and I thought he started off a bit, and I thought, oh no, please don't waste 35 million. But now you can just see it's starting to come together a bit more now, can't you, with him?
Yeah.
So I think that might have been a good signing after all. So we'll have to see. Like you say, early stages.
The thing is, it ain't his fault that 35 million. I've got a theory on it. Obviously with the Brexit coming in and the point system that's been coming in now with the transfers that when you have to bring players in from abroad, and obviously Wolves have invested for the future. They've loaned in Vitina, we've loaned in Ait-Norrie, both young lads who've had different levels of respect, and then you've got obviously Fabio. They got them in before the changes to Brexit. Because obviously buying younger players from abroad now, unless they're playing regular in a Champions League or a European League, or they're playing for the national sides, the points don't add up. So they've got them in, and I think it's, as has been rumoured, that Wolves will be slightly tweaking their transfer policy in the summer in terms of looking a little bit more at the homegrown market as well, and also I think established players that can come into the team. I think for the summer transfer window, and I'm sure I'll talk to this with about the Gaffer and also Steve, and I'm sure Spencer, who's currently backstage eating his tea. I can see him in the green room. I don't know what he's got, but we'll have to tell us later. But I do think personally that we need, I don't know what you think, we need players that are going to come in and make a difference to the side straight away, not ones for the future. I think the summer transfer window is probably going to be one of the most important windows for Wolves history. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely got to sort out the defence really badly. That needs sorting, especially when we can't handle these crosses, can we, at all?
Well, I think that the truth is in the thing. I couldn't believe how many corners. I mean, if we'd have had a bet on the number of corners, like being 10 plus, we had 10 corners in the first 31 minutes. The one positive I will say about it is that they weren't all short bloody corners like last time. It's like, hey, let's just pass it back, and then it goes nowhere, and then eventually one comes in and it was that in the last match against Tottenham, it was short corner after short corner after short corner after short corner after short corner. And I don't mind the short corner routine or of having a route, but you need to mix it up with direct corners, and they did that a bit today. We still didn't work, still didn't score off it. Although saying that, I don't know whether it came off a corner, that Morgan Gibbs White shot when it came out to him. It was a good save from Pickford, but it was a nice height. But you're quite right. We've got to deal with, for next season, our set plays at both ends of the pitch, offensively and defensively. In Wolves' defence, we have lost at the likes of Jimenez, who is obviously deadly in both boxes defending. I mean, he got took out by David Luiz, did he not? And defending the corner. And we have had some positive news on Raul tonight. I don't know if you've heard the news.
No, not yet, no.
So Wolves have announced that he has now been allowed to go into full contact training. He has been passed. It's also been said that Raul will now have to wear competitively for the rest of his career a headpiece to protect him. And Wolves, I think, I'll be very surprised to see him play against Manchester United, because they want to build up that confidence throughout from July onwards. But they are confident of getting him back properly full-time in the summer. But as well as anyone, mentally, that's going to be a big obstacle for him to overcome in terms of heading the ball. And I'm guessing he can now head the ball. And it's a positive prognosis that he should be able to get back, all being well, to his. And if we can get the Raul back that we've had in the last 2 or 3 seasons, that bodes well for Wolves going forward for next summer and for next season.
Maybe you should wear that wrestling mask, Clark.
Oh, you mean these little, the Raul Jimenez mask that he wore at the for the. I've got one of them, I'll take it off now for you. Oh no, I'm joking. But I've got one of them. Yeah, there was about 100. I managed to get hold of one, so I've got one of them on my desk upstairs, mate. We've literally got 5 5 minutes more with you before we move on to talking to the Gaffer, was next in line from Tenerife, who I've been trying to get onto this damn show forever, and he's always like, I'm busy at the bar, but we've got him tonight. Mate, sum up your man of the match and your positives and negatives, and also your performance rating for tonight's game.
Well, man of the match, it's got to be Traore. Like I say, I did like how Silva was again, but Traore, he was really running rings around him at one point. I mean, he kept getting fouled again as usual. So I'd say he's my man of the match. As for like positives, I don't know. It's an hard one because it is the end of the season. I get the feeling that it ain't like the middle of the season when they've really got to go for it. It's a bit of a funny one, isn't it? This time of the season. But I'm positive. I'm feeling positive for the next season. Definitely. I think with again Jimenez back, Neto, Podence. I tell you what, we're going to have a right strike force as long as nobody gets injured. It's just getting the rest of the team sorted, as far as I'm concerned. Ratings today, I'd say. I would definitely give it at least a 7 for the first half, 6 for the second half, but possibly 7 altogether, I'd say, really. They played pretty well.
So, an overall 7. And, I'm just looking ahead. Obviously, we've got one more game to go, but also looking ahead to the summer. Where do you want Wolves to strengthen?
Yeah, definitely the defence for me. And obviously, I'd say middle of the pitch as well. Yeah, I'd say I'm not anti-Moutinho. I think he's a lovely bloke, lovely player. I just think it's time to start thinking about some replacements there. You
think Moutinho's had it here?
I don't like to say it because I really like him, but I'm just looking at things how it is. The amount of times he gives the ball away a lot nowadays, he seems to do that quite a lot. And I don't know. Like I say, I've got nothing against him. I just think we could possibly now start to look for someone to maybe replace him.
It will be interesting to see what the Gaffer Stephen Spencer has to say about that. Moutinho, I'm like with you. I love the guy. Joe Moutinho, absolute world-class player, especially in his prime. I think he's like something like the second most capped player for Portugal or something like that. Played all over the world, won something everywhere he goes. He is an absolute winner. He desperately wants to win something with Wolves. I think I was obviously disappointed, like many Wolves fans. I've only been annoyed with Nuno a couple of times, really, and maybe the one was in the FA Cup semi-final against Watford, when he took off our creative players and he parked the bus, and we paid for it in the end with that late goal. We got within 60 seconds of my dad's lifelong dream of standing next to me at an FA Cup final and singing Abide With Me. And I was more upset for my dad because he's like in his 80s. Will we get another chance? And then, of course, the game against Southampton in the Cup, I felt like we surrendered that opportunity. They went all the way to the semis. Okay, they lost to Leicester, but I felt Wolves could have, it was another opportunity. Hopefully it'll come next year. Nuno's talked about needing a bigger squad for next season. So your focus is on the defence and a replacement for Moutinho. I think Moutinho, it'll be interesting to see what the others say, but I think Moutinho's still got a role to play, but whether or not he plays as much as he is next season will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, almost like a backup player.
I don't know whether he'll be a backup player. I think he'll have a lot of influence in the training. He likes to train hard, and I think he'll still want to play, but I think they might have to use him a little bit more sparingly, but I think we need that quality. Vitina showed potential. I thought Gibbs White the last couple of games has showed a bit of his potential as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they say, mate. A final word from you before we finish?
Subscribe.
Oh, yes. Well, absolutely. If you're brand new, please subscribe to the channel and, of course, smash a like to the video. Mate, absolutely a pleasure. Thanks for staying up and talking about the game. And obviously, hopefully, we'll meet up soon when you get your motorhome over to Canada. We'll have a meet up for a brew. That would be amazing. All the best to you. Go and check out Andy's channel, Many Fun Adventures. If you like a quirky channel with a lot of crazy antics, that's definitely one to check out. I can tell you that for a fact.
Watching then?
Oh, mate, I know what yours are like when you go on your walks or you go on your wonders or your mystery, guess where we are, and turn up with the missus at Molyneux and she don't even know you're going there. It's quite funny.
Hey, I like that.
All right, mate, lovely. I'll see you soon, buddy.
See you later. Cheers.
Absolutely. Nice. And that's Andy. Great to have him on. And now a first-time guest. Finally, we have the Gaffer. Now, I've met Gaffer. I've met him over on the steps of Newcastle. Remember that game? I've met you in Pop World in Wolverhampton when you actually had your flag with you.
The Tenerife Wolves flag, that was the one.
Exactly right, mate. I remember I couldn't believe that you'd still got your flag. Wherever you go, that flag goes with you.
We take it. It went to Portugal. It went to Espanol. It went everywhere, and now it's up on the wall in Gaffer's. It'll come down next time we go abroad somewhere. So,
well, I know. I bet you've missed your trips actually, because you do like to get over to Molyneux, and you do like to go to the Wolves.
It's been since the Espanol game last time I went on a plane. That was February last year. So I haven't been to England or anywhere. Just been sort of stuck in Tenerife. Not a bad place to be stuck in, I suppose.
No, it isn't, mate. And why don't you just let us know the bit of the background to you? Because obviously some people will know you, some people won't. But you are Tenerife Wolves, and you do run a bar. Let's get a bit of backstory to you, mate, and how you support Wolves and how you're ending up in Tenerife.
Well, I mean, I've been a Wolves fan since I was a kid, really. I went to Tenerife 2007, went to do a bit of DJ work. That didn't really work out. Got a bit bored of it, then started working in hotels. And then I got the chance to take on a bar called Gaffer. It was already called Gaffer's Bar. So I thought, yeah, what the hell? Let's have a go. No, it was never ever going to be a Wolves bar. It was going to be just a bar in another bar in Tenerife, trying to make some money. And then I started adding a few little extra touches to the bar. Flags,
gold flags and gold scarves and shirts.
I had the floor tiled in a big Wolves head on the floor. Well, a story about that one, I'll leave that for another day. But we lost 5-1 to the.
We don't. Down
the road.
Get reminded about that one.
The day after I had that floor done. That was the day after I had the floor done, and then we never won another game of the Premiership. Relegated, McCarthy sacked. I'm thinking, what we've done here. But I kept it, and then it's. But over the years, I think when we was in the Championship, I managed to get Wolves TV were doing the broadcast for the games at £5.
Yeah,
and the overseas viewers could watch them. So I was getting it on my laptop, streaming it to the TVs, and then putting it on Facebook. And more Wolves fans were coming out because they could watch the game. And then obviously we won the league, got in the Premiership, and we get all the Premiership games anyway in Tenerife. And since then, it's been brilliant. So the atmosphere of some of the games are just wow. He's actually like being in the stands.
You get a lot of Wolves fans and then fans from other clubs.
Yeah, lots. Well, we do get other fans as well. Yeah, when Wolves are playing, we have the away fans in as well. The banter, we have West Brom fans in as well. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
we have some right good banter with them. It's always banter. There's never any trouble. People on holiday, they're there to enjoy themselves, and it's football is just a bonus for them when they get to watch a match in the Wolves bar against their team. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you want to tell everyone whereabouts in Tenerife you are? For if anyone is going, obviously Tenerife is amber at the moment. On the
we're hoping that next week we'll be put on the green list. With fingers crossed. Yeah, we're hoping for next week. There's talk with 99% sure. We've been told over here that
Is that Tenerife or Spain as a whole?
Now, the Canary Islands, they're going to be kept separate from Spain. I don't know about mainland Spain, but they're doing a separate deal, the Canary Islands. We're 1,000 miles from Spain. It's their rules. We have to abide by their rules, and it's like us doing what Portugal do in England.
Yeah,
England have to do what Portugal. You're that far away from them. But because you're Spanish,
what's the cases like over there, mate? At the moment.
Minimal. You might get in Tenerife maybe 40 cases a day. I can't remember the last time somebody died from coronavirus over here, but it's very rare that you. I mean, I probably know. I had it myself last year. I was in hospital for 2 weeks. Yeah,
you were in hospital.
Yeah, I was in hospital for 2 weeks last year with coronavirus. Yeah,
on oxygen.
Yeah, I was on oxygen for 2 weeks.
You didn't go on a ventilator?
I wasn't on a ventilator, no. I had a drip for about 5 days. But like I say, I recovered, and I never once thought that it was going to be like the end. You know what I mean? I always thought I was going to recover from it. I weren't that ill, but I was ill. I was having chest pains.
Did you have breathing difficulties?
No, I was just having pains. I had a bit of a cough, and every time I coughed, I was getting chest pains. So I was diagnosed with pneumonia. Went to the hospital. They kept me in, did the COVID test. Said, "Oh, you're positive for COVID-19." I thought, well, all right. So they changed my treatment. 5 days. I mean, I was there for 2 weeks, but after about 5 days, I felt great. And it was a different experience. We was not allowed. Visitors couldn't leave the room. Every time a nurse or a doctor came in, they're head to toe in protective gear, so you couldn't see their faces or whoever they were. It was an experience, but like I said, my personal view, I don't think it's as bad as everybody says it is, but that's just because I didn't get it as bad as everybody else, maybe. But
it affects everyone very differently, doesn't it? And whereabouts, before we get on to the game, whereabouts is Gaffer's Bar in Tenerife for anyone that's going over there?
Playa de las Americas, which is the main.
Everyone knows Playa de las Americas.
Everybody knows, yeah. It's right next to Los Cristianos, Playa de las Americas. They're virtually merged into one massive resort now. So.
And you make a big welcome for any Wolves fans that turn through the door.
They always get the first drink on me as well when they come in. So anybody turns up and says, "I'll tell you what, if they come in and mention Dazzling Dave, I'll give them 2 drinks. I'll give them a free alcoholic shot as well."
Well, there you go.
Dave, that is.
I love Tenerife as well. I'd like to get over there either October, sort of March time. Is always a good time to go. But
it's a bit cooler then as well, yeah.
Well, I'm not one for because I'm like, I'm good looking and everything, and I know like that, but I have got very pale.
You don't really want to suntan.
People, when I used to go sunbathing, people used to lie next to me to get their sides done because I just deflect the sun on the side because I'm not pale. But no, seriously, mate. Next time I get over to Tenerife, because I got. Where is it? Cristianos, whatever it is.
Los Cristianos is next to Las Americas.
Yeah. There's a place where I used to go on holiday called Gran Melia Pelasora. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and so next time I'm down in Gran Melia, down in the Americas, I will definitely be coming over, mate, for definite.
Brilliant, mate. You'll be made very welcome, mate. Definitely.
No, I will. I'm going to be looked after. So, mate, what do you think about the game tonight and talk about the season generally?
I thought first off, I was quite shocked, to be fair. I thought, well, where's this performance coming from? Whether it was like what the previous guy said, with the fans in the stadium that gave them a bit of a lift. But they was knocking the ball about brilliant. I mean, we're lacking that finishing touch, aren't we, from somebody like Raul. We haven't really got the killer punch up front. But I mean, the general play in the first half, I was really impressed. I thought Morgan Gibbs-White had his best game for Wolves all season. However, since he's been at Wolves, I think he played at Wolves. I'm a bit disappointed when they took him off. To be fair, I I thought they should have given him a longer run. Silva's improving every game. I know he misses chances, but the legend Steve Bull missed chances, didn't he? So you got to you got to forgive him for that. But I think this season, he's the experience he's gained from this season will just be, in 2 or 3 years, he will be a top player. You can just tell. You can just tell he's going to be a top player. Like I heard you say earlier about Willian Jose, doesn't do anything for me whatsoever. I don't know what, if we're not keeping him, why give him more game time? I don't understand that. But I mean, that I like that Theo Corbeanu when I've been watching him.
In two great goals for the under-23s the other day.
Yeah, he really impressed me. He come out only had 10 minutes against Tottenham, but I thought he might have got on today again. But he's one for the future as well. I mean, I think today's performance is all about, in this end of season, he's giving a few of the young lads a chance. And I think they played well today. The second half was a bit, we keep making we seem to get punished for our mistakes all the time. And when the other teams make mistakes, we don't punish them. I think that sort of sums up Wolves' season. Every time we've made a mistake,
we're missing a Raul Jimenez in the box.
Well, him massive. If I was saying to a guy in the bar earlier, if we got all season Neto, Traore, and Jimenez up front, we'd be in the top 6. We would, because those three are just on their day they're unplayable. Traore, he's too quick for everybody. They can't keep up with him. He's like, say, do you see the picture on social media?
The other day where he was crossing the ball, there was absolutely no one in the final third. I know.
No, I mean, I know the forwards have to defend and help the defence out in the midfield, and that's the problem you get with Traore. If he gets on the break, there's nobody quick enough to go with him.
Do you want us to keep Traore? Because obviously he's not signed a new contract.
I think he's the best player we've got at the club by a mile. I don't think we should let him go. I think he's brilliant. I enjoy watching him.
I think he wants to get a few more dollar in his back pocket, doesn't he?
You can't blame him, can you? Really? that's the way football is at the moment. But yeah, I mean, when he plays, when he gets the ball, you just know something's going to happen. Even if he falls on his backside and lies there for a minute, like sometimes he does. To me, it doesn't matter, because obviously you can't do what he does for 90 minutes in a match. It's impossible. But when he does do it, when he starts running at defenders, and the last 2 games, he started going through the middle again. And
I like him going through the middle, because I think he's got the option of. I mean, you see, he literally can put the afterburners on. He did that early in the first half, where he literally went past 4 players down the middle, and then you're struggling to get the. I mean, if you'd have got a Neto up there, I think he would have created.
We call him the road runner. Every time he gets the ball in the bar, we go beep beep. He's going past them. It's brilliant.
He is a bit like Roadrunner, and he's that fast, and you can just see that sort of swirl where his
legs are going. If they made a cartoon version of him, he'd be the Roadrunner. It'd be brilliant. But yeah, I think he's a brilliant player, and he'd have had a lot more assists and goals this year if Jimenez would have played.
Well, we were 6th in the table when Jimenez got injured.
I know. I mean, I was so gutted when I saw. You actually heard the crack of the heads, didn't you, in that game, and you just feel. I didn't even know it was Jimenez at the time, and I just thought, oh, who's that that's gone down, and then think they're going to go off and come back on, but when they never play again for. Well, when was that? November time, was it?
I know. Well, Terrence Birch says he's agreeing with everything that Gaffer is saying. Must keep Adama. Be interesting to see what Spencer and then Steve has to say about that. I mean, to be honest, with regards to Adama Traore, obviously up until recently, he'd had no goals and no assists. Although you can really say he was a bit unlucky, because the Leeds game when he hit the bar at the back of the keeper. I mean, he did create that. But in the
didn't even get a diss for that, did he?
In the last month, you've seen again the Adama Traore that we saw a lot of last season. Now, I do think some of his assists and options have been affected by the fact that there's been no Raul in the team, no
100%.
centre person, and Raul's a very difficult person to replace because he is like our equivalent of Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Without him in the team, we don't quite have that focal point. I've been impressed with Pedro Neto this year. I think he's had a breakthrough season, and I'm be very surprised if he doesn't win Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season. What do you think about Pedro Neto's impact on the season?
Brilliant. I think I watched him when he was playing towards the end of last season. Obviously, I went back for a couple of games, and when you do see a game live, you do see it a lot more different than you see on the TV. And his work rate and his energy is just unbelievable. Again, it's a shame that Raul was out the side when he was performing, and I think it's just one of them seasons, isn't it? We just move on to next season. And but the point the guy before made, Andy's name, about Coutinho, I sort of agree with him there. Everybody loves him, but I think this should be last season. He does give the ball away a bit, and it gives a few needless fouls away because he ain't got.
Do you think it'll be his last season as a certain starter, or I still see that Coutinho's got a role to play within the squad?
100%. I think he should go into the coaching side of it, and maybe have another season playing, but he won't be a first choice. In my opinion, I wouldn't start him. I'd look for somebody else who can play. I mean, they're looking at that. Is it Paulinho? Is it from Braga?
They've talked about Paulinho for a little while because we were linked with him previously. Gaffer, we've got 90 seconds left, so I've got some things for you to think. I want your man of the match, your performance rating, and what positions do we absolutely have to sort out during the summer? The key bit of business that you want to incoming and outcoming for the summer transfer for next season.
I'll go with Traore for man of the match. I just thought he was he played really well today. Just unlucky with not having so much support. Performance, I'll give him a 7 because I think they played well first off. It did go a little bit sour towards the end of the second half, but a little point about Neves as well. He looks like he needs a holiday to me.
Yeah,
he looked like he was shattered at the end of the game. Don't know why, but it's been a long season for them all, hasn't it?
Yeah.
To be fair, but we definitely need another centre half. I think we need an attacking midfielder, somebody like Mason Mount, Jack Grealish, Maddison, from somebody like that who can. Gibbs White, he's getting there, I think, and he looks a good in that position. If he plays in that position,
would you keep Gibbs White?
Yes,
I've seen what you've seen the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be a regular starter, but he's got to improve and get himself into the side. And obviously, I think we need another striker as backup to Raul, because we can't have another season if he does get injured. We can't rely on Silva or for the rest of the next season. Silva will come on leaps and bounds playing alongside Raul, I think, and even if Raul plays up on his own, Silva coming on for 20 minutes, half an hour in a game. I think it'll be, but I think three main, a centre half, an attacking midfielder, and another striker, and I think we'll be a force to be reckoned with. Because we've got plenty cover on the fullbacks. Patricio in goal. I don't know if Ruddy's gone. He's finished now, isn't he? At the end of this season.
Well, I have a theory just to finish off on. I have a theory that Nuno let him play tonight because it will be his last appearance in a Wolves jersey, and obviously he's going to let Rui finish the season at home in the fans. And I think it was a nod to John tonight to say thank you very much. And I thought he didn't put a foot wrong, John.
He had a great game. You can't blame him for the goal at all. He's
a good keeper. He needs to be playing.
I think he controls the box better than Patricio, personally. I think he comes off his line more. I think he commands his area a lot more. I just think Patricio is just better at his all-round shot stopping. And
well, he's a world-class keeper, isn't he?
Yeah, and he is a worldclass keeper. He's not going to be.
And he does make mistakes, but then every keeper makes mistakes.
Every player makes mistakes, don't they?
Exactly.
It's just one of them. It's one of the things that happen that you notice it more with goalkeepers. But I thought Ruddy had a good game tonight. I thought he played well.
Brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute joy to finally get you on. You do see the gaffer sometimes when he remembers to send in the international fan reactions.
Normally after the game, I'm having a few beers with the lads, and then by the time you get home, you get up next morning, and it's nearly done. I think.
You should do it straight away. That's the best way. Listen, we've had a few where you've been outside the gaffer's bar and people's stumbling out. I love all that in the background, because you know what people love on the international fan reaction? They love to see where other people and other Wolves fans are. They love what's going on in the backdrop, and as well as the talk bit. So you'll have to do one for the United game, mate.
Definitely, yeah. Whatever the result, we'll do a video for the United game.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us, mate, and I hope you've enjoyed making your debut. You've certainly.
I'll definitely come on again next season.
100%. Just anytime you want, just let us know, buddy. Take care, mate.
Take care, you. See you later.
See ya. Thanks ever so much to Neil. And next up, we've got an Everton / Wolves fan. Before we're going to finish up with the legendary Steve from the Howlers. Hello, Spencer.
You right?
I'm not too bad. Everybody, I think, will probably want to know, what were you having in the green room for something to eat for your tea? Light tea?
It was, what was it? It was chicken. Well, it was kind of a chicken dinner, but without the veg and everything. And it was a bit of salad and couscous, so nothing too major.
Nothing too major. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, Spencer is an Everton fan. His family's Everton. Yeah. However, he does have an affinity and affiliation to Wolves, because he did live in Wolverhampton for a very long time, and he was, for 3 or 4 years, you'd have seen Spencer retrieving the balls, because you were a ball boy for Wolves, weren't you?
Yeah.
And that's why Wolves are your second club, I would say.
Of course.
So what do you think about the game from the Everton perspective today, mate?
You dominated us in the first half. To tell you the truth, I was scared. I didn't see us actually even getting a point out of the game.
Yeah. You had a very good home record this season, 9 defeats.
9 defeats, and I'm pretty sure 3 out of the last 3 home games, like the last 2 home games that we played before this, we won. So it was before fans came back that we lost all our other home games. So it was pretty bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. But I think the fans certainly helped lift you. To be honest, I think you scored a really good time at the start of the second half, and then you could see the lift with the fans cheering. It gave the Everton players. I thought Everton never really hurt Wolves.
We didn't put any pressure on you in the first half.
But you controlled the game and saw the game out well. I thought managed it well.
I mean, we had to put about half the team on Adama Traore in the first half. So,
well, there was a picture going around on social media with Adama Traore running with the ball, and there's about 5 Everton players running after him. It's classic Traore. I thought he had a really good game tonight. Obviously, Wolves had so many corners. Wolves so many corners, and then Everton a corner. Rickarlison, because you've got 2 players that are really good in the air. Obviously,
and Yerry Mina. I would have expected one of them to get on the end of that corner, to be honest.
It was top corner. It was a good header right in the corner. John Ruddy, no chance. Richarlison seems to always score against Wolves, especially at Goodison Park. Remember the game that I went and watched a couple of seasons ago? Wolves got level, and then he headed another one in the back of the net. It was a cross that should have been cut out.
I'm pretty sure there's a stat somewhere of Everton have scored the most set pieces from in this season or something like that.
Correct? Well, we've certainly conceded some of the most. That's for definite. It's an area Wolves have got to improve on at both ends of the pitch for next season. I mean, are you confident that Everton can grab that Europa Conference League, whatever the hell that is?
I don't know what it is. Even me and my dad are really confused about that.
I thought it was a made-up name. I was, but apparently it's a real tournament.
It's the Europa Conference League is like pretty much a development. I would call it a development stage of if you win that tournament, you then proceed into the Europa League the season after. So it's kind of like a helping hand to securing Europa League.
Now let's get it right. We've got the Europa League, Conference League,
then the Europa League.
We've got the Europa League,
and the Champions League,
and then the Champions League.
Yeah,
now it's like 3 divisions of Europa. You know, it's. I don't know.
And then there was going to be the Super League, which was an absolute joke in my opinion.
Well, I think in every fan's opinion and every sane person, apart from the owners of said clubs, who for some strange reason thought they'd be able to carry the day and, you know, just make it happen. Well, obviously they've been left with their tail between the legs. Spencer, obviously from your point of out there in sunny Blackpool, windy Blackpool, with the lights and everything. I mean, mate, what have you made of Wolves season? Because I know you watch and follow the Wolves because you do.
I watch a few games sometimes. I think it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. Like, there's definitely some games where we could have. I'm going to say we could have got results and probably brought back a few more points. I would have expected. I think if Nuno got the attack more into form, like they actually had a little bit more communication, like because I don't think Wolves had that enough this season. But if they did have like a lot of communication, chemistry is the word. If they had that, then I reckon they could have been pushing for a European spot as well.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves obviously, you know, severely affected this year. Nuno's small squad has come back to bite us. The length of the previous season, I think, has had a knock-on effect into this year. Obviously, the Raul injury was a freak injury.
Yeah.
You know,
I still don't like that foul. I can remember seeing that.
Oh, I think it was frightening when it all happened. I'm just glad that the guy looks like he's going to recover and hopefully get back. And all the injuries that Wolves have had and no fans and stuff. I know some people have got on the back of Nuno at times this season. And to be fair, the football that we've watched compared to previous seasons has not been anywhere near as entertaining. But when you actually think about everything that we've been and then we're safely mid-table, I think on balance, you've got to say hats off to Nuno, even though things he's tried hasn't worked and we've lost so many players. He's not had a settled squad. To be mid-table and safe with what's happened isn't a bad...
No, definitely not. Would you say the effect of the Europa League happening on the back end of last season was affecting the physicality of the players this season?
Well, if you take into context the season before, Spencer, Wolves started qualifying for the Europa League the season before in July, and then we didn't finish the season until, when was it, September? It was like a 14, 15-month season. Wolves went all the way to the last 5 minutes of the quarterfinal against the eventual winners, Sevilla. The likes of United and City were given an extra week to recover. Wolves didn't. They had to start the season. They had a break, but they really only had about 3-day pre-season. Losing, obviously, selling Doherty and Jota, bringing in Semedo, losing Johnny Otto, the wing backs. It's had an impact. We're still 6 when Raul, and then Neto's had a great season, gets injured. Marcel's been made of glass because he keeps like getting things. Bolly's been in and out of the team.
I haven't really heard much of that. Marcel, he's the left back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back in training again now, but he's been injured. Pedence's now, because you could see when he came back, Daniel Pedence, he's not quite been right, but he's had a groin injury. He's had to have an operation. So you've got Neto, Raul, and Daniel Pedence, 3 potential starters up front.
Just saying those names, it sounds like a really strong attack, and you're missing all of them.
So, in hindsight, personally, I try to be positive. I think in the circumstances, the fact that we're well safe and he's now trialing. Obviously, I think Nuno's looking at a back four for next season.
Rebuilding pre-season.
The key and the icing, the key will be for me is the summer transfer window. Who we keep, who we sell, who we bring in, how we strengthen the squad. And the first 10 or 15 games of next season is really going to tell us. And I personally feel quite positive we'll come out for this season stronger for all the things that we've been from. I'm hoping that's the case because I do still believe in Nuno. I think Nuno will get it right for next season, and he's managed to steer us to safety. So with everything in hot, it's not big.
I was interested in the point that what you and the Gaffer were saying about Morgan Gibbs-White. I definitely think he should stay on for next season. He's such a strong impacting player to Wolves. So
he's definitely got ability. He's had a few maybe attitude problems. He's a young lad, maybe made a few mistakes.
He's grown on.
Seems to put an arm around his shoulder. Maybe he'll give him. Vitina looks good. I've been impressed with Nori as well. Young lad. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Just to finish off on then, mate, what's your man of the match for both teams and your performance rating for both teams today?
Performance rating for Wolves, I would say, both teams, I'm going to say 8. I'm going to say Wolves probably should have deserved to come away with that game with a point, personally to me. And I reckon that Europa League fight with West Ham's over now, so doesn't really matter what happened. I'm pretty sure we can still get that Conference League or whatever. But man of the match for both teams, I would have to say Dharma Traore for Wolves and perhaps probably Richarlison for Everton for getting the winner.
Fantastic, mate. And Spencer, always think a lot of you, young man. Is hopefully catch up with you.
I hope to be down when fans are back in Wolverhampton. Obviously, I'm going to be visiting there a lot soon as well. So.
Yeah, it'd be good to catch up when you're back, mate. I'm glad that everything's settled down for you and you moved to Blackpool, and obviously wish your family all the best, buddy.
I feel a lot more comfortable now. I feel relaxed.
Well, moving's always a big change, so it takes a while to adjust. Just like when a player comes into a club, sometimes it takes them a while to adjust. But hopefully, we'll see you soon down in Wolverhampton at some point.
Yeah, I'll definitely try and if fans are fully back, perhaps next season or something, I'll definitely try and get down for a game.
100%, mate. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All the best, Spencer.
Have a nice weekend.
And you, mate.
Bye.
So that's Spencer. Thank you very much for having him. And then we've got a real special guest again tonight. It is young Steve. Steve, thank you so much for waiting patiently backstage in the green room tonight. You've listened to a lot of what the folks have been saying. Let me just let you know that Steve is one of the boy band members of the Wolfpack Howlers. Do you play keyboards?
Yeah, I play keyboards, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the music maestro, and it's been a while since we've had you on the channel, mate. So it's good to have you back. How's things with yourself?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. We've got back to gigging to an audience again this week, so it's been fantastic. Went to rodeos in Canal Club. We played there on Monday, so that was a great gig.
You've got another couple of gigs this week, haven't you? Do you want to tell the folks about that before we get on to the game?
Yeah. We've got tomorrow night. We're playing at the end of season awards at the Molyneux. We're playing an opening song, and then it's the awards. And we're doing like a little gig at the end of the night for a bit of entertainment as well.
Is that for the sponsors?
Oh, sorry.
Is that for the sponsors?
Yeah, for the players awards.
Oh, are they going to be there or?
Yeah, they're going to be there. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be good. Good fun. And then
I'll come up with a tambourine for you if you want. I can do like Rouge, that guy that walks across the screen with the tambourine. I can do that. Yeah,
you're best with the maracas.
You know the one I mean, don't you? If you need anyone for that, just let me know.
Dave, you've got the gig, mate. You got the gig straight away. Don't worry about that.
I'll bring my drum as well. That'd be cool. That'd be amazing. Is that at the Molyneux in the Hayward Suite?
Mate, yeah, I think it's Hayward Suite. Yeah, we're in the Hayward Suite tomorrow. Yeah, so that'll be good. And then we've got a gig on Sunday. It'll be at the Bridge North Football Club. They'll be showing the match afterwards. I think the doors open at 12 o'clock. We'll be on about 2 before the game. and then the game will be showed afterwards as well. So I think it's not tickets, so you can ring up the club and they still just turn up on the day, and you can get let in and have a good time, have a good sing along.
That's fantastic, mate. So already this week you've got 3 gigs, and I bet you've got a few more starting to be lined up, haven't you?
Loads, absolutely loads. Yeah, I mean, I think since lockdown, it's been horrible. Obviously, you know, we had quite a few gigs organised during that time, and you know, it's garden parties. Loads of Wolves fans just wanted a bit of a good time and stuff, and now it's all catch up time now. So it's all literally fitting in 3 or 4 gigs a week. It's been quite good. It's getting quite busy now. So
your other halves allowing you to get out 3 or 4 times a week to go on with your boy band and on the tour and everything.
We call it a boy band. Westlife. Yeah, my wife's very understanding, Dave. Thank God.
I suppose she probably wants to get rid of you after having you hanging around the household for the last few.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is.
In all seriousness, mate, you guys are absolutely top people. I mean, in every single way. You bring joy to people's face. It doesn't matter whether you're a Wolves fan or not. You sing the tunes. You've raised money for charity. You know, you made my mom and dad's day, especially my mom. You came when you did that live on the drive. You came round. If you haven't seen it, it's on my channel. They came round, and my mom, bless her, she's been really. My dad's watching probably this game. So if you say hello to Magic Moss, I think he'll be watching.
You're right, bud.
Yeah, he'll be watching at home on the TV. He don't understand how to get on the chat to comment, or I can't even understand how to get on the TV thing unless I go around and record it. But he said he was going to be watching this. So and when you came around, my mum was really, really low, and we had it as a surprise. And you played on the drive, and it so perked her up. She actually couldn't believe it. And like they had the music, and then you don't know this, after you went. The next time we went round, we went there and they played all your tracks, and singing along to it and everything. Absolutely brilliant, mate, what you did. And like I say, it's their 60th wedding anniversary this year, and they were like going on about wanting to get you for the to play. You don't just play Wolves songs, do you? You can do other stuff as well, like if it's like an thing.
We can do anything, mate. I mean, the thing is, we're an amalgamation of different bands, you see. So, I mean, I play in like a 90s house band, and a few of us play, but most of us play in a superstars band, which is like ska music, very much associated with like football songs, really, you know. So we do that kind of thing as well. And Liam, the lead singer, has got his own band with us as well. So there's lots going on. So we've got so many songs in the bank, you know. So if anyone's got any any gig requests, we can always put a few songs in. That, you know, don't necessarily have to be Wolves songs. We can chuck in whatever you want, kind of thing, you know. So we've got quite a big catalogue to put in there.
No, it's great, and you're really good. And I say, yeah, you can all sing, and you're all proper musicians. I'm just going to say it's absolutely brilliant. The Wolfpack Howlers, you can just search them online, and you'll come up with a website, and you can have to be quick to get them booked though, because it looks like you're going to be in demand. You're going to do your UK tour, or your Wolverhampton Midlands tour anyway.
It's gone crackers, mate. It's gone mental.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, getting on to the game, mate. What did you make of today's match?
Wow. I've got to say, the first half, I was very, very impressed. I was loving the slick play, quick to feet. I thought it was fantastic. I've got to say, it was like Brazil, but outside 45 yards. And then we got to the 45-yard line, and it got past 45 yards. And it's just a shame we got no kind of direct pass, that little link-up pass, that little 1-2, or the decent cross. Or, you know, it was such a shame because we did so well. I thought the first half, I couldn't believe it. I think it was 70% at one stage, wasn't it? 70 30 at one stage. 76% for a 10-minute period. Yeah. So I thought, you know, and got towards, you know, I thought second half we were gonna, carry on the way we left off, kind of thing, you know. But we didn't. It was. They obviously got the goal quite quickly, and it's such a shame. It's that kind of zonal marking that we have at corners, and we weren't quite there. It's not quite with it. I mean, we've got to sort out the defence of them for next season. But I think leading on from that, we didn't really. They just sat back, and then it was okay for them, wasn't it? In the second half, I thought they managed the game very well. Everton, we didn't really. No, that's it. That's it. I mean, I think they did well, didn't they? I mean, their midfield was poor first half, I thought, but the defence was solid. I mean, at the end of the game, I was just scratching my head going, what went wrong there? What went wrong? And the word came to me, it's like a scapegoat. So my scapegoat was Silva, unfortunately. I mean, I've had a little debate with a guy on Facebook tonight. I mentioned his name, actually, Wesley Griffiths. He put me in my place a little bit because I was blaming Silva, saying he hasn't quite got the pace for the Premier League. And the thing is, I'm trying to find a replacement for Jimenez. I'm trying to find that. And the thing is, I know he's 35 million quid, but he's 18, and I'm trying to blame something on, I'm trying to think of, trying to blame someone for Jimenez's kind of absence, really. And it's not fair for me because I've been I've been bigging up recently, Silva, but he's told me today. He said, "Well, funny you mentioned Harry Kane earlier on, didn't you?" And Harry Kane, when he was 18, he was playing for Leyton Orient, wasn't he? And you got to put that in perspective, haven't you? You got to think, you know what? He's playing against the best in the best league in the world. He's only 18 years old, and he's like, you know what?
He does. He has. I like his positional play, his energy, his running.
Yeah.
Okay, he missed a good chance against Tottenham at the weekend, but he's scored 4 goals. He's had I think something like 2 assists. If he scores 2 more goals, he's the top scorer.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, because Neto and Neves are on 5, and he hasn't. Okay, he's getting a nod now, but I can see that he is gonna be worth the money in time. At the moment, the 35 million, it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
It is.
I wish that they hadn't disclosed it. Why did they disclose that fee? If it's like undisclosed, you would have thought, I'd have paid 13-14 million. But
if you paid 13 to 14 million, people would have been a lot more tolerant. I think he's won people around. To be honest, I'm not sure who's on the account at the moment for the Wolfpack Owlers. I'm not sure whether it's Liam or one of your colleagues, but apparently they reckon that you've got a Sean Dyche look going on.
And
they got Steve.
Steve Board, that's my name, Steve Board. Yeah, very clever.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So, mate, I want to just obviously finish the show with you. I want to talk about what your man of the match was tonight, what your performance rating, but I also want to talk about your thoughts on Moutinho. There's a few people brought that up. Do you think he's had his day? Adama Traore, keep at all costs or not? Like the likes of Ait-Nouri and Bettina. What do we need to do in the summer window for you? I know there's a lot thrown in there. If you could take them points on board and give us your opinions to finish off the show.
Well, man of the match, first of all, I think it's definitely Traore, wasn't it? I think he's just so dangerous. Today, I was flabbergasted by how quick his feet were, and the way he can weave between players was brilliant. I think we have got to talk about Traore keeping him. He hasn't got the end product, has he really? His crosses aren't always perfect. His shooting's not always the best, but if you can find another player in the Premier League that can be as dangerous as him, I can't think of one. I think he's just got that his pace is so phenomenal. He can create anything out of anything, can't he? So I think he's someone we should definitely do. He should be the highest paid player at Wolves, as far as I'm concerned, and we should go all out to make sure he's signed up without any hesitation there. For me today, he was man of the match. He was dangerous.
He was last game as well.
Yeah, he's such a, like I say about. Okay, I'm blaming Silva because Traore's doing this, he's doing that, and but there needs to be, obviously, it all comes down to how you manage the game and how you manage him and but where players need to be as well. I think if Jimenez was on the pitch today, or Pedro Neto, he would have been 3 or 4-0 up at half time, wouldn't we? And Traore was that dangerous. I think we should go all out to keep him. As regards to Moutinho, you got to remember that this season's been it has been like a hangover season, hasn't it? Not just, I think it's easy to blame Moutinho because of his age. Neves has been as poor as Moutinho this season. You think the first 2 seasons, Neves was pinging balls left, right, and centre. Okay, he hasn't got the best pace in the world, Neves, but he's always been, a great tackler. And to be fair, his tackling's been great this season, to be fair, but his shooting and his passing hasn't been the best. But Moutinho is getting a lot of blame, but I think it's a hangover. It's the end of the season, nothing to play for. I know that's not an excuse, but I think that's the case with him. I still think we've got another year in Moutinho to go, definitely. If you could say who's been the best Wolves player you've ever seen, I think my choice would be Moutinho.
So I don't think you could argue. I mean, I've loved Moutinho, and I'm like you, Steve. I think Moutinho's still got a year in it. Moutinho's never been anywhere at any club and not won something. He is a winner. He's got that. I know his legs are probably going a bit, and he's right at probably maybe one more year, and maybe they have to use him sparingly, and he can't play 3 games in a week or what have you. But I still think he's got quality, he's got leadership, he's got fight, he's a winner, and he's such an example to have around the squad, that sort of attitude. And, of all the injuries we've had this year, Moutinho hasn't been one of them.
That's right.
And he's how old?
Yeah, and he keeps himself in quite good shape, doesn't he? So I think when it comes to, you think of players like Gibbs White, today, I thought he was great today. First off, I think when he lost the ball, he fought back, showed great pace to get the ball back, and he showed some. I thought he looked quite dangerous as well. So that number 10 role, I thought he was really, really good. And we're talking about him doing silly stuff at the start of the season. Who best to have? Connor Cody, Moutinho, to put their arm around him. So he's. I think he's got at least one more season. At least one more season left in him, so definitely keep him. Definitely.
And William Jose on his way for you as well? Out?
Yeah. Unfortunately, again, another one I feel sorry for a little bit. But I think he's not cut out for the Premier League. Myself personally, I think he's shown signs of a great player. But for Wolves and what we do, we need, again, you're trying to replace Jimenez, aren't you? And with that, you got great running. You got running behind players, taking players away, but on top of that, you got fantastic pace, and you also got a great finisher. I've seen his finishing abroad, and I thought, oh yeah, what a player we've got here. But I'm not seeing the pace, and I'm not seeing the positioning, and he doesn't get in the right place at the right time for me. And he's had minimal chances, to be fair to him, but when he's had those chances, he hasn't put them away. So, for me, no. What's it going to cost? It's going to cost about 18 million, probably. I have no idea. But for me, no, it's a no for me. I think we should be looking at established Premier League players for next season. We've got to look at defence. I think, again,
we've got the same defence as we had in the Championship.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, you've got to look at, we have basically 2 formations this season. We have the 4 at the back or the 5 at the back. Why not just, keep switching between the 2, depending on who we're playing, So I think Cody fits really, really well in the 5 at the back. I'd like to see more Kilman, if I'm honest with you. I don't know what's happened with Kilman in Nuno. They might have had a falling out. He played tonight. Yeah, he played tonight. And from what I've seen of him, ever in a Wolves shirt, I've never seen him play bad. I've never seen him have a bad performance. He played okay today. He wasn't the best today, but I've seen him have better performances. But I think he's a really good. He's got composure. He's only young as well. How old is he? So I think him and Bolly would be great in the back 4. Give Neves the captain's armband, and then obviously when in the back 5, Cody's definitely the man, kind of thing. So, but even saying that,
I think Cody can play in front of the back 4, which would allow the likes of Neves to play further forward, because Neves does tend to drop deep. And you see dropping deep. If he did play that 4, I think he's looking at playing that 4-2-3-1 formation. I think Bolly and we need to bring in another top quality centre back that's going to make a difference. Bolly and them, and then you've got Sanderson that's done well, that's coming back as well. And then if you've got sort of Cody and another just in front of them, and then you've got your 3 and your 1, I think that's the formation that he wants to play. but I think you've still got to have the 3-4-3 and the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2 as plan B, C, and D. And like you say, switch horses for courses.
Yeah.
But I still think Cody can play in a back two against a certain level of team, but at a really that top 6 to 8 level, I think that's where he gets bullied by the likes of Antonio from West Ham, Mitrovic. We saw today against where he got turned and they got the shot away. Again, that type of attacker, when he's exposed, he does get caught out, I think.
He does. Unfortunately, he hasn't got. He's not blessed. Never been blessed with pace, Cody, is he?
We need a defender coming in that's got that bit of pace next to him as well.
Like say, he's a good manager. Let's tinker. Let's tinker with formations. That's what the top teams do. They tinker. They don't just stick with one formation all the time. I mean, we've got to keep doing that, and we've got to have a good backup team to rotate the team around and not just rely on the kids so much. So it's going to be a very interesting summer. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what we need to do. But I think we've realised that we can't rely on people not getting injured and having a small squad. We have to get a bigger squad, and we have to tinker with formations. We have to be clever. And Nuno is a clever guy. And I keep slating my mates that want the Nuno out brigade. I can't abide with it. For what he's done to our club, I think he's a god as far as I'm concerned.
It's been a tough year, and if the football's dire and we're struggling 10 to 15 games into next season after having a full summer and a full pre-season and a reset, then that would be the time where you start to question it, because then there's no other sort of backdrops that you can say as an excuse for all the different things. But I think we'll kick on next year, and I think we'll be sometimes what doesn't kill you make you stronger. Just to finish off on, mate, a couple of questions, and it's a keep or go answer, keep, sell or loan is the answer. So, or buy, sell or loan. Vitina,
buy.
Ait-Norrie,
buy.
Morgan Gibbs-White,
keep.
So there's a good answer, and obviously you want to keep things. So that's quite interesting, because I think they've won me over as well the last few games. The fact that we've actually seen them on the pitch, it's kind of changed.
Just back up as well. Don't forget, they can be great backup, can't they? A great impact sub. You know, these are players that are younger. They're only going to get better. That's what you got to remember as well.
And the value will only
increase. If you want to sell them later on, fair enough. Like, one of the big teams want to come in for them. And they've done well. They've done well recruitment-wise. They've done really well, considering that they're going to potentially be future stars, and they probably will be. But to have it dropped on them at a very young age, I think it's been a little bit of a bad policy.
But it will. I think they will benefit from it, because it'll toughen them up. They'll know what to expect. They'll work on their upper body strength. They're only going to get stronger and more. You can see how technically gifted that every single one of those. I have been so impressed with Ait-Norrie, the second run that he's had since Johnny Otto's been out.
You're right.
He's really cool. Young lad.
I thought he was like just like Vinagre. I thought he was the same. Quite exciting going forward, but not quite good, not very good defensively. But he has come on a lot past 8 or so games. I think I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're a good player. He's got potential, hasn't he? You can see it. You're absolutely right about keeping up as well.
He does, exactly. And I think that's what I feel quite positive with the young ones. We've got to bring in the right transfers in the summer for definite. But if we get it right, I think can see us having a good season. Steve, thanks for ever so much for being patient and coming on. Obviously from the Howlers, always great to have you on. We're going to finish with you on the screen with me. Thanks to everyone that stayed up late for the chat and joined in the conversation tonight. Obviously, if you're watching this back or you're watching tonight, please smash a like on the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're listening to it back on the podcast as well, wherever you are in the world, we do wish you all the best. We will be back with the preview for United, the watch along for United, and also the reactions and the international fan reaction for this game will be out tomorrow. So from myself and all of my guests, including Steve from the Howlers, who's on the show right now, thank you so much. And from myself, as I say, and everyone, keep smiling, keep the faith, always Wolves.